2 days ago, my boss Roman shot me a call and let me know that he was bidding on a very cheap motorcycle at Peak Auto Auctions. And it's a bike that we've never seen before. All we know about it is they say that it runs and rides. This is the bike in question. It is a Yamaha V-Star 1100, and I've got the key for it. I've never seen this bike before, but it supposedly runs and rides. And if that's the case, then I think Roman might have gotten himself a pretty good deal, because these Japanese cruiser bikes are very inexpensive to buy. Let's find out if it actually runs and what we got ourselves into. And now that I'm here looking around, I'm seeing quite a few bikes that I would actually be pretty interested in. This XR100R looks pretty sweet. I've been looking for a bike just like this, and it's 1998. It's my birth year, so it's kind of perfect. I might go in and ask if this one's for sale yet, or if it's already been sold. But there's also this Trail 70, which is also really cool. So definitely check out Peak Auto Auctions. They've got some really interesting stuff that can go for pretty low prices. I'm using that XR100 as a tripod. I'm going to see what happens when I flip the key. We've got power. The neutral light is on. This bike is a beast. Let's see if it turns over. This is moment of truth. I'll be really happy if this bike fires up. Oh. Wow, that's a heavy throttle. Come on, it wants to run. It's cold-blooded. It runs. Oh, it sounds good.
Yeah. I don't know by no means the expert, but
We might be a little low on fuel because it's set to reserve right now.
okay.
So
Wow.
we'll probably go ahead and get it moving over to the trailer. There we go. Nice, beautiful. We've got the bike strapped down to the trailer. We're gonna bring it back to our office, and once we're there, I'm gonna take it on an initial ride around our office block so that I'm on some streets that we know that aren't heavily trafficked, rather than taking it on Interstate 25 to get back to the office. We'll do a little shakedown run on a easier road just to make sure that it's gonna stay together. But I think that we've got a good unit. And with a little bit of movie magic, we've got the bike back here at our offices. All went well with transporting it. It is a heavy machine, but having the bike trailer from my good buddy Alex helps a ton. Now, stepping on this bike, you can feel the weight of it, but the seat height is so low, it really makes it quite a bit easier to get the bike off the kickstand and get started. And the bike is, I was about to say the bike is starting a little happier with some temp in it. It still needs a little bit of throttle, seems like, to start happily. I think that definitely some carb tuning will be in order. But let's take it down the road and see how it feels. I have noticed that it seems to want quite a bit of throttle to get moving. It feels a little bit like we're pulling a boat anchor. And I think that's just because we've got kind of a tall first gear and it's just a heavy bike. There's kind of no way around that. These bikes are over 600 pounds. We're definitely going to need to do some adjustments on this. One of the first things that I would like to do with this motorcycle is to take it to my buddy Andy's shop and have him go through this bike, you know, make sure everything is kosher. At a glance, it seems all right, but I haven't really spent too much time looking at it. I'd love to have him give it a once-over, give it a detail, see how it shines up. But it is certainly not completely stock, especially with the exhaust, because the bike's a bit of a nuisance in a good way. Now, I really haven't done a lot of research on this motorcycle yet because it's a pretty last minute thing that I found out Roman won the auction for getting this motorcycle. So I'm gonna have to do some research, learn all about it. But what I can tell you about these Japanese cruisers in general is what I mentioned earlier. They're generally pretty well engineered bikes that sell for very little money. So they're a type of motorcycle that I like a lot because you can get a lot of what you want out of a cruiser bike, that V-twin rumble and a nice plush ride and a lot of chrome for a fraction of the price of a Harley or an Indian. And that is valuable because who doesn't like a cheap motorcycle? And I can tell you with confidence, this is definitely a very plush, comfortable bike. This is obviously not a handling motorcycle, but it would make for a good commuter bike. And as cheap as this was, I very seriously might consider buying this off the company and riding it a little bit myself, because so long as it proves to be a good solid machine, this could be a really good buy for less than $2,000. It is literally a lot of motorcycle for the money. There's no question there. And Yamaha engineers a good bike. It certainly has the right sound to it. And I feel like if you were to potentially strip a few things off this bike, it could be a little bit cooler, maybe a little more hip, maybe getting rid of these crash bars, unless you want to use the crash bars as footrests, which certainly could do, but I might get rid of them. You guys will have to let me know in the comments. What do you think? Should we clean the bike up, do some maintenance on it? Those things are kind of a given, but leave it as is otherwise? Or should we maybe pull some things off of this bike, see if we could strip it down a little bit and make it a little less of a tank? Whoa, that's so funny. Going through a corner, it just wallows. It feels like the bike is swimming. This is an incredibly soft suspension, which in some ways and in some situations is awesome, because a lot of our roads around here in Colorado are pretty rough, and I don't mind having a plush suspension for all these bumps in the road, but it does not give me a ton of confidence to pitch this bike hard into corners, which is not at all the point of a motorcycle like this. And I am interested to see if these speakers work. That'll be something we'll have to investigate a little bit. It's also kind of neat. There's a little makeshift cruise control, pretty old school. Just a friction-based cruise control on the throttle. So this would make for a really great highway bike. I kind of wish it didn't have a windshield because it is a hot day and the breeze is pretty helpful, to be honest. But this is an exciting bike. It's been a while since we've had an older, inexpensive motorcycle in our hands, and it feels good to get back to something that's a little more like what I usually buy, which are projects. They're fixer-uppers and affordable motorcycles. This is definitely that. The bike feels okay. There's nothing that's immediately very concerning. The motor seems to be running okay, no crazy noises, and the brakes work fine. We got to run around and give it a more detailed once-over, and especially bringing it over to Andy and having him look through this bike and make sure everything's kosher, but it seems all right. Maybe it's just been a while since I've been on a cruiser of this nature. It feels like it's maybe a little too squishy. Like there's no buckle, no major buckle anyway, in the sidewalls. The tires might be a little soft. It could use some extra pressure in our rubber bands, but the bike seems to be okay. who knows, the forks could be completely blown out. A little shimmy in the front end. There's definitely some refinement that can be done on this motorcycle. I also noticed at low speeds, when I was getting the bike from the trailer to the front of the office, just a little, yeah, I felt it there briefly, little bit of surging, so could use maybe some adjustments to the tuning. But wow, this is a big, stable motorcycle. So I'm excited about this. We've never owned a big cruiser like this, and for 1,300 bucks, I think we can be pretty happy. So that's all for this video, and I want to say a quick thanks to Scott and the team over at Rider Justice, because they've been supporting us basically since we started our channel, and they work with a lot of Harley riders, but riders of all kinds, including even just people that are driving regular four-wheeled vehicles. So if you're ever in an accident and you need legal representation either on 2 wheels or on 4, then make sure you call Scott first, because the team over at Rider Justice is super helpful. So that's all for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time.